Spending money to save time. Most people think getting rich means spending less, cutting subscriptions, skipping takeout, doing everything yourself. But the wealthiest people spend more, and they do it on purpose. They buy back time. Paying for grocery delivery, cleaning help, or software that automates boring work seems wasteful, until you realize time is the only thing that can't be replaced. Every hour you outsource becomes an hour you can spend earning, thinking, or resting, all things that multiply over time. The average person trades time for money. The rich trade money for time. It's not about luxury, it's about leverage. If your time is worth $50 an hour and you can pay someone $20 to handle it, you're not being lazy, you're compounding productivity. Over years, this flips your entire financial trajectory. People who hoard time tasks stay stuck working in their life. People who buy back time start working on it. The poor save dollars. The rich save hours. And hours, unlike money, never come back once they're spent. Measuring purchases in hours. Here's a habit that quietly rewires your brain. Stop measuring money in dollars. Measure it in time. Every purchase becomes a trade between your wallet and your life. A $60 dinner isn't $60. It's 2 or 3 hours of your time. A $1,000 phone is 40 hours of your life. When you see time instead of price, your brain suddenly gets honest about what matters. That's why people who think this way spend less, not because they're frugal, but because they've connected money to meaning. When something costs 10 hours, you ask yourself, is this really worth a full day of my life? Usually the answer's no. The key is that you stop chasing the short dopamine hits of spending and start valuing free time like income. The wealthy already think this way. As I said in the last section, the rich buy time instead of spending it. Using debt to your advantage. Debt is one of those words that scares people, and rightfully so. Bad debt traps you. It's the quicksand of the financial world, easy to step into and nearly impossible to escape. But used right, debt becomes a sort of leverage, one that multiplies your effort far beyond what saving ever could. It's how businesses scale, homeowners build equity, and investors grow faster than inflation. Debt is a tool. It just depends who's holding it. Poor debt buys comfort. Rich debt buys freedom. A car loan for a luxury model bleeds you and holds you down. A loan for property that appreciates pays you back. Most people think of debt as something to fear, but the smart ones treat it like rented speed. Dangerous if uncontrolled, but powerful in skilled hands. The key isn't avoiding debt. It's making sure the thing you borrow for grows faster than the interest you owe. That's how fortunes are built. But if used wrong, debt owns you. Refusing to save every penny. It sounds irresponsible, refusing to save. But here's the paradox. People who try to save every penny almost never get rich. They're too focused on defense, never offense. Saving is survival, not what helps you grow. If all you do is cut costs, your entire financial world shrinks around what's safe. But when you spend strategically on things that expand income, like tools, skills, or relationships, you break that ceiling. The rich don't obsess over $5 coffees. They obsess over $50,000 opportunities. Hoarding money builds fear. Investing it builds momentum. You don't get wealthy by being cheap. You get wealthy by being efficient. When every dollar has to be justified, none of them get to grow. Money has a purpose: to move, to build and multiply. And if you trap it under your mattress, it stops being money at all. It just becomes paper. Investing into yourself. This one feels weird because it looks selfish, spending on yourself instead of saving. But investing into yourself is the single highest return asset class in existence. Courses, coaches, therapy, mentors, fitness, they all seem expensive until you realize how much they change your output. Another way to invest into yourself is paying for accountability. Most people rely on motivation, but motivation is unreliable. Accountability makes progress automatic. The money you spend to have someone expect something from you, a deadline, a deliverable, a goal, forces you to become the kind of person who doesn't waste potential. When you pay for something, you pay attention to it. That's why people who invest in their own growth accelerate faster. They attach real cost to not making progress. Avoiding good deals. Everyone loves a deal. 30% off, buy one, get one, limited time only. I could go on forever. But that feeling of winning at spending is what keeps most people broke. A deal is still an expense. The discount doesn't matter if you didn't need it in the first place. That's the trap. Sales make you feel smart for losing money slower. Wealthy people don't chase deals because they know attention is the real cost. Every good deal steals focus and time you could spend earning or creating. Discounts are marketing, not miracles. Imagine you got offered 50% off of an item that was marked up twice the original price. You've just been manipulated by marketing into buying something for the normal price. The rich measure value by utility instead of a simple price. If something improves their life, they pay full price. If it doesn't, it's overpriced even at 90% off. Good deals keep poor people busy saving pennies. It's better to pay full price for something you need than get 90% off something you don't need. Overpaying on purpose. Overpaying on purpose feels stupid. Why give away more than you owe? But that's exactly why it works. It's not about wasting money. It's about rewiring how you think about it. Most people live in survival mode, always calculating the bare minimum. The minimum payment, the cheapest option, the lowest bid. Overpaying flips that psychology. When you round up payments, send extra toward your credit card, or pay bills early, you teach your brain that money isn't something to hoard in fear. It's a tool you control. The act itself builds an abundance mentality. Instead of, I can't afford this, your mind starts thinking, I'm ahead. And this changes everything. You gain peace, not pressure. Your debts shrink faster. Your relationships with money and people become cleaner because you stop nickel and diming life. Spending on mistakes. We're taught that every mistake costs money. The wealthy treat mistakes differently. They spend on them intentionally. Buying cheap gear, outsourcing too soon, or paying someone else's fee might feel like a bad purchase, but in reality, it's a strategic risk. The lesson costs less than the opportunity lost by inaction. They pay for clarity, not comfort. The moment you stop trying to avoid all mistakes is the moment you start learning fast. Each failed experiment becomes a data point, each misstep a calibration. Wealth doesn't come from getting everything right. It comes from correcting courses quickly. So spending a little now to know that won't work saves a lot later in wasted time and compounded indecision. Mistakes cost money, yes, but indecision costs years. And if there's anything you should have taken from this video so far, it's that wealthy people prefer to waste money than time. Emotionally detaching yourself from money. Most people live in emotional debt to their bank balance. When they have money, they feel safe. When they don't, they panic. The wealthy learn to detach from that cycle. They see money as a tool, not as a mood indicator. Detachment doesn't mean not caring. It means not depending. When your emotions rise and fall with your income, you make desperate choices, chasing quick wins, selling too soon, buying too fast. Emotional neutrality is what keeps investors calm when markets crash, and creators focused when results lag. The rich treat money like oxygen, essential but invisible once it's flowing. They track it, respect it, but never let it define their self-worth. Because the moment money controls how you feel, it starts controlling what you do. Ignoring windfalls. When most people get a small financial win, a refund, a bonus, a random crypto gain, they celebrate by spending it. But the rich usually do nothing. They act like it never happened. Every unplanned dollar quietly becomes an invisible worker, invested, automated, or saved for the next opportunity. It's psychological training. Ignoring the dopamine hit of sudden money builds control. It's not the big wins that create wealth. It's how you handle the small ones. Every time you treat a surprise dollar like just another tool, you strengthen the habit that builds freedom. When you stop letting extra money feel extra, you stop resetting your progress every time life gives you a lucky break. Taking risks on purpose. Most people think rich people love risk, but the truth is they train for it. They take small, controlled risks constantly, so big ones don't scare them later. It's not gambling, it's building tolerance. Every decision that feels uncertain, starting a side project, changing careers, investing early, is a rep in risk training. The poor avoid that feeling, the rich seek it, because there's no path to wealth that doesn't go straight through risk. It's the toll gate between comfort and freedom, and you can't skip it. Risk isn't what loses people money. Panic does. The wealthy learn to separate fear from danger, to act before everything feels safe. Every fortune started with someone who stepped into uncertainty on purpose. The goal isn't to eliminate risk, it's to get so familiar with it that you stop needing certainty to move forward. Only buy things you can afford. Most people think, can I buy this means, do I have the money? But the rich think differently. They ask, can I afford this? There's a huge gap between the two. You can purchase almost anything with debt, credit, or sacrifice, but you can only afford what won't change your stress level after you buy it. If it steals sleep, time, or future freedom, it's not affordable, it's just available. The wealthy measure affordability in peace of mind, not price tags. They buy slowly, deliberately, only when it costs them nothing beyond money. Because the truth is, being able to buy something doesn't make you rich. Being able to buy it and feel nothing afterward does. Using envy as power. Most people waste envy. They treat it like poison. The wealthy use it like data. When they feel jealous, they don't hide from it, they study it. Because envy points directly to the gap between what you want and what you've built. If you feel it, it means something in you recognizes possibility. Instead of resenting that person, they reverse engineer them. Habits, systems, mindset, until they turn jealousy into a map. It's your emotional navigator, showing exactly where your next level lives. The poor try to silence envy. The rich try to decode it. Because you can't transform what you won't look at. Every feeling of why not me is a mirror saying it could be. The difference is what you do next.